Good morning or good afternoon. It depends on wherever you are. Welcome to Mr. Shipman's class. I'm Dr. Terrence Shipman. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Miss Prudence Williams.
Good morning. Good evening, everyone. How are you out there in listening land?
Welcome to our show again. Before we get started, I want to make sure you know you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I have a web page which is brand new and designed by Mr. Khalil Shipman. It's www.terrenceshipman.com. That's all one word. So today we have a special show and we have our first guest today. Our first guest is Miss Tonya Bennett. Introduce yourself, Miss Bennett.
Hi, I'm Miss Bennett. I'm friends of the Mr. Shipman, Dr. Shipman, and Prudence Williams. I have been working in education for 16 years. I've taught math, I've taught science, I've taught social studies. You name it, I've taught it. Leave out language arts, I lead at the Dr. Shipman.
Well, we're glad to have you here today.
Welcome, Miss Bennett.
Welcome to the show. Now, today our topic is summer's here and kids fall back academically. And I want to know why.
Why do kids fall back academically? We got 3 teachers here. And we all know after a short 6 to 10 weeks, our students are going to show up like they never went to school. They don't know how to add. They don't know what a comma look like. They have no idea how to spell. Why did they do that, Miss Bennett? Why did they fall back so bad?
Because they take a break. Like most of us, we want to just lay back and relax. But unfortunately, in order to keep up with where we are academically or skill-based wise, we have to keep practicing. And everybody think when you do math, it has to be rote memory. It has to be boring. It has to be something on paper and pencil.
Because math is, Miss Bennett.
But it's really not. Math can be fun. Unfortunately, we don't realize we do math every day. Every time you go in the kitchen, you do math.
I agree with Miss Bennett. Math is every day.
It is every day, but it is also boring. So what should parents do? I'm representing the children in the listening community that have never found math to be fun, entertaining, or anything. And I'm also representing the parent who has the child who doesn't want to do anything during the summer. So what do we do, Miss Bennett? You saying it's interesting and we do it all the time and blah, blah, blah. But I don't like math, Mama.
Well, I tell you what. Let's keep it fun. Let's take your 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old, for example. Take them to the store. Let them count out some apples for you. You got to buy those apples anyway, oranges. Let them count it out. They're counting. Hey, tell them to throw back 2 because they rotten. And then ask them, how many did you take away? How many do you have left? Is it not math? Are you making it fun? Mm-hmm. It's something you do every day anyway.
I agree. And another, while we're at the grocery store, when you take your older students, have them take paper and pencil. And as you put stuff in the basket, they can either add it up. I need you to be adding this up. And we're going to see how close. Too. There you go. How close are you going to be to the price when we get up there at the register?
Oh, I like that.
Oh, Mr. Shipman. But when you throw in that paper and pencil, guess what? You back in the classroom. Let them leave the paper and pencil at home. Have them do mental math. Let them estimate it all the way up. Because when we spend money, do we know the exact price? Or do we let the cash register check it all out and then they tell us how much we owe? No, we walk through the store and we round stuff up. Because you can't round it down, because if you round it down, you don't have enough money.
What about this? Because I have a teenage child and forever knows in his cell phone. I mean, I got him the cell phone because he needed it. I needed a way to get in touch with him. But there's a part of me that regrets it every time I look over and his nose is in the cell phone. Could he not walk through and estimate on the phone too?
Sure he could.
I say yes, but I say no. Because in the classroom, guess what the teacher going to say, dude?
Put the cell phone up.
That's right. Put that cell phone
But we're trying to make it fun in the summer. And we're trying to find something that parents can do.
But it's okay to use the calculator. It is really, really, truly okay. Because by the time they make it to high school, they're using calculators all the time.
You're right.
They need to familiarize themselves with the tool that they have in front of them.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so going back to the little people, 3, 4, 5. You said we could count the fruit.
I said count the fruit. I say also look for shapes in the house.
Ooh, never thought about that.
I love it because that's especially with those really small little people. 3, 4, 5. Look for shapes. Come trace them. Put beans on the table. Count the beans. Count how many canned goods you have in the pantry. Count your shoes. How many pair of shoes do you have? Or then you can even sort it even more. How many white pair we have? How many black pair? It's all kind of math that you can do with the little people.
And I would agree with all of that. And then when you're taking those road trips, identify the shapes as you're riding. That helps with the geometry.
What shapes do I
side.
see while I'm riding? Give me an example. What shapes do I see?
Triangles.
You see a triangle, stop sign,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Those shapes.
Pentagon.
My bad.
rectangles.
Okay. I forgot. I just get in the car and look at the trees. I'm a science teacher. I look at trees and grass and stuff.
But it's okay because the sun is round.
It really is. It is. The stop sign, well, that would be colors.
Billboards are rectangles or squares.
Yes.
This is true. Okay. I just never thought about it. Oh, the steering wheel is round. Look
Yes.
at me go.
Yeah.
But not only that, look at the different buildings. Buildings are shaped differently
They
every
really
day.
are. They're not
So-
just up and down anymore. They go triangular buildings, pyramid buildings. There are a lot of different shapes out there.
There are a lot of things you can do, and get them out the house. Let them play.
I agree.
So the little ones, let them play. I agree, but we have to be outside with them. So now we got the first, second, third, and fourth grade. They can kind of go outside by themselves, especially in the backyard, or you're not with them as much as the little ones, but you still want them math ready. You don't want their math brain. So first of all, let's look at what they are doing first, second, third, and fourth grade in the actual classroom. We're talking about addition, subtraction, one digit, like 3 plus 3, and then two digit, 13 plus 15, and then our first and second graders multiplying and dividing, Miss Bennett.
Yes, third graders are multiplying.
Third grade.
Yeah, third
What about
grade.
first and second?
I
Should
say
I worry about that?
Second, if it's an advanced.
Advanced class.
All right.
Yes.
So if I have a really smart kid who's always been on top of things and caught math, I can move into multiplication in second grade.
Yes.
Fourth grade, what are they doing?
Fourth grade, they're dividing. They're starting to work with decimals and fractions.
And my fifth grader, do they add on anything besides adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, whole numbers, decimals, and fractions? Do they do anything, or is fifth grade just a big pull it all together and make sure they understand everything?
They're introduced to variables. Not they.
Oh,
just
the
introduce
invisible number.
The invisible number. That's
The unknown.
it.
Okay. So now we know what they're supposed to do. I don't want to teach them. I don't want to print out worksheets. I want to make this fun. Teachers, go.
I say with fractions, kids run away from fractions. Also parents. But I tell them, get in the kitchen, make some cookies, break the batch down, build the batch up. And who don't like eating cookies? All of us like eating cookies and cakes. So let's go in the kitchen and make something.
So when they're using fractions, do I actually pull the paper and pencil out in the kitchen? Because, I mean, I don't see... are you telling the parents to just point out the fraction? If it says use a fourth a cup of oil, you point out that if I make one batch, I use a fourth a cup, and then...
No, you actually get out the measuring cup and let them model it.
Right.
You learn better by doing.
I
So
agree,
if they
hands-on.
use that measuring cup, they can see that 2 1/4s make a half.
Okay.
And they can keep doing that.
And let's not forget our favorite food, pizza.
Yes.
We must do fractions when we eat pizza.
Also, just eating it, ordering a pizza in the evening, and eating the. So if they have it cut into normally 8 pieces,
Yes.
you got fractions. Never thought about
Or
that.
if you get it cut in squares.
Yeah, there is that company that makes the square pizza.
Yeah.
They make
get
a
it
square
cut in
pizza,
squares.
and you can count the little blocks. Never thought about that. What else could a parent use with first grade through fifth grade? Those 4 basic skills. And as a science teacher, I will tell you that those 4 basic skills build into the middle school and the high school so importantly. So if they're doing those skills, baking cookies, eating pizza, talking fractions, talking decimals definitely with the money. When they get to your middle school and your high school kids, and even older elementary, even fifth grade, sometimes, you get pushback. Mama, I don't want to go in the kitchen. They don't want to spend time with their parents like that anymore. That's not what they want. They want to do other things in the summer. So what can we do with, let's just say, a 6th grader through a 9th grader to help them stay academically on point mathematically in the summer?
Well, they're always looking to change their room around. They always want to give it a different look. So in order to do that, they can take the measurements. They can, if they want to change their room around, how many ways can you change your room around? Now we're dealing with
probability.
There you go. So math is not all that boring, not even for teenagers.
Could you give them a budget? So I saw one time on a TV show, the parent gave the teenager a $50 budget. Said, yes, you can do your room, but I only got $50 this summer for you to do your room. And I need a budget planned out. So the child had to go online and get it approved, so to speak. Find all the stuff and stay within the $50 budget. That would be something to do.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think that would be incredible for teenagers to do because they like owning their own stuff. They like it to be in all those and they're in charge.
And seeing how much you can get, the most you can get for $50 because most kids don't have a good sense of money at that age. They just spend.
Or if the child is in athletics. Like in the summertime, they use it training for if it's a girl, cheerleader, or volleyball, or softball. And if basketball. It's a boy or basketball, if some major sport, they need to keep a daily schedule of what you do.
Yes,
they keep another schedule of what workout did you do? How long did it take you to do it? Are you improving? Are you decreasing? How much water did you drink? Measure the amount of water that you drank each day. How much did you eat that day? You can take that as far as you want it. It's all about measurements and keeping records, data collection. And when you finish, you can make a graph. Show me on the graph your growth.
So there you have statistics.
Right there.
We do it all day long. Statistics is all about keeping data.
And it also leads to them improving. I know my son really wanted to be a better football player. And he struggled with catching. And one of the things that I think about, get out there. How many balls, if you got 100 balls thrown at you a day, how many balls did you catch a day? Are you improving? Applying a technique. If you go online and look at YouTube videos and find different techniques that were used for athletes to improve their skills. And that's another good way of doing it. Trying several techniques and seeing what was the growth rate when you tried that technique versus that technique. Mm-hmm. Those are good things, y'all.
But I'm kind of old-fashioned, y'all. I got to tell you, I am. With all age groups, I believe in just drill and practice. We're going to time you I might time you every other day. Put a add and subtraction sheet in front of you, say, go. How long does it take you to get it done? Then we stop, grade it. How many did you get right? So we keep a record of that.
So you're saying, even though we want to keep it fun in the summer, put a school-like element in it.
I think you still have to have it.
What
you still have to work that memory.
I would agree and disagree.
Hey, disagree and agree.
But technically, when you throw school and timing, most kids don't do well with timing. Sometimes you do worse being timed as opposed to being better. I know I did that with my own kids. I would time them, and they would do awful when I know they knew the stuff. But then when I wasn't timing them, they were just doing it on their own. But they didn't know they was being timed. They did a lot better. So sometimes that old-fashioned way with the generation we have today may not always work, but with some kids, if they don't know any different, those kids that don't have access to technology like that may work.
Yep.
And speaking of technology, now we're getting to the high schoolers and kids prepping for college, your juniors and your seniors, and I just graduated. Still really important to keep them. Probably in a lot of ways, there's no more important time than late high school or high school and the little people to do that summer readiness. It's so important that we send them to school ready. But now as our kids approach the end, it's almost like you feel that, and we all have college-age students, you feel that overwhelming rush to make sure all the gaps are filled. And because now they're finna leave, and if the gaps aren't filled, you're not going to be in the living room for them to ask at night. And so what can parents do When I look at it, I always think websites. And I know from having a teenage child that websites are not always the best thing because kids tend to know how to do 15 minutes on the website and 2 hours on YouTube. They're not doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And so what other things can we look at when we look at teenage kids, getting them ready for SAT, ACT, first year of college, advanced math class? Now, you're the math teacher. And that's something that I know parents get nervous at this point because the math gets so complicated.
I like Khan Academy. Khan Academy, it has a lot to offer. It is free. You can go out there and can scan anything.
I'm sorry. Call me the dummy in the group. What is Khan Academy?
Khan Academy is a math website, and it has tutorials. It has videos. So the parent don't always have to be there. They don't have to engage themselves because the kids can get all the information that they need. And Khan Academy is KHAN Academy, ACADEMY, and you can just tap into that. It also have quick quizzes that the kids can take to see if they're doing well.
But Mama, I'm not going to college. I have no interest. Even when a child says that, we're three adults here, and I think every parent out there recognizes. Okay, so you don't want to go to college. I'm not going to make you. But what I do know as an adult is you're going to have to go past high school to be able to get a job that takes care of yourself. So even when we think of functional math that they're going to need for job placement, what activities can we give kids to do? Now, one of the things I did with my son, just because I needed it done, but I realized from talking to you two today it was a math assignment, is we put down fertilizer in the yard. And I said, hey, we live on an 1.5 acre plot. This bag says it covers 500 square feet. How many bags I need to buy? And he had to go figure that out and get the fertilizer out.
Or for me, I think about that child that's not going to college. You need to teach them basic life skills. How to budget a budget. How to keep track of your bank account. How to know how to
open a bank account for them. Help them open
Right.
a bank account.
How to pay bills, both electronically and paper. I'm still the old fashioned. I'm sorry. How to sit down if you got to write out a check or a money order. How to write it out. Do you know how to sign your name?
And since they don't teach cursive writing in all schools anymore, that is very important. It's something parents got to teach.
Right, because I've seen them. When you say sign your name, they print it.
Yeah.
And then you need to explain to them why the cursive print is so important, so nobody can forge your name, because you won't always be dealing with small numbers. And what you don't want somebody to be able to copy your name so easily.
And the other thing I stress is go to YouTube. I'm a big user of YouTube. I believe in it. If you don't know how to do something, put it on YouTube. Don't Google it. Go to YouTube so they can show you how to do it.
Okay. What about my 10th and 11th and early 12th graders, SAT, ACT prep? There are a lot of books out there. I think all three of us have gone through the SAT, ACT book nightmare. You go out and buy the $40 book for your kid. You put it in front of them. Your kid looks at you with blank eyes, and you say, "Work through the workbook," and they say, "I am." And 3 months later, you look at the book because you just happen to be in their room, and it's in the exact same spot you left it laying on their dresser, and dust has collected on the top because they have not even once opened it. Anybody else experienced that, or was it just me?
Of course. Remember, I passed my book on to you.
Yes.
So, yes, I do understand.
So, if the books don't work, and I don't want to spend the $500 for the professional class, what can I do as a parent to get my child ready for this test that is so important to their future?
But one of the things, even though the book did sit for a while, but I can also say all 4 of my children, I timed them. And here I go with timing again. I can't help it. They would have to wake up Saturday morning like it's a simulated test and sit there and take the test. We put the disc in, buy the disc. I know
so you're saying going with the computer,
I say
not
going
the
with the computer.
Okay,
sit there and take it. And it was just something I believe in test the simulation. You practice. You practice what you want to try to be. And you try to practice perfect, even though it might not turn out perfect. You have to practice. You got to go through these steps. That comes from my dad, who was a famous coach from Tuskegee University. But I had to go through the process of showing them, hey, sit here and go through the test and learn from your mistakes. Even after they took the essay, it's SAT, yeah.
It's SAT.
After they took it, I ordered the test booklet so they can look and see what they
you
made.
were one of those parents? Did you
I'm
order the
one of
test
those parents, yeah.
No.
I didn't either. I was like, well, next time you do better.
Because I make sure that I ordered it. I think it was maybe like $10 more. They'll send you the test booklet so you can see what mistakes you made. So when you take it next time, guess what? You know you're familiar with that question.
So that's a good point to point out to parents. When your child registers for the SAT, please be involved and look at what they're registering for, because that is a point. They will be registering, particularly 10th graders and junior, in the summer for the first testing in the fall. Order the test booklet and know what your child is taking so that you can be aware. And one of the biggest things I found of being aware is know a week before so that you can make sure your child's schedule is clear. Because my son wrestled, and I just had to point blank tell a wrestling coach he won't be at that meet because it's the night before the SAT. And he didn't want to say it to the coach. He felt like he was letting the team down. But when it was said by me, it was like 7 other parents going, mine either. So we actually forfeited that meet because there were so many kids taking the test, and I don't think anybody knew that it was that important. Or we knew it was important, but I think none of the kids would say it. It took a parent going and saying, hey, we're not going to do this the night before the SAT. Or in some cases, after the SAT. They're not going to be sitting in the SAT worrying about a soccer match or a basketball tournament. Right. I want them focused on that then. I give you the time that you deserve. Let them get ready for their futures.
But the key to that is getting involved. Parents, you have to get involved too. So if you're working the workbook or if you're on the website and you're timing them or doing whatever, get involved. That makes them work harder.
Yes, very much so. Okay, so Dr. Shipman, as we come to the close, we always spend this time asking questions about things. I know you have a new book coming out. What is the name of this book?
It's what is the name?
Dr. Shipman, Kindergarten Chronicles.
It's Mr. Shipman Kindergarten Chronicles. The first day of school.
So let's just say that we kind of stumbled over that. So say the whole name again so people will know what to look for.
It's Mr. Shipman's Kindergarten Chronicles, the first day of school.
And are we looking at Dwayne and Benicia again?
We're looking at Dwayne, Benicia again. Basically, it's an introduction of the whole class. Before, we started almost like mid-year. Now we're going back to the beginning and see how it all came together.
Okay, so we're in the summer now, and when is this book supposed to be released?
The supposed to be release date is July 19th. We are pressing very hard. Got a lot of great people working on this book.
And we're in Georgia, in case everybody didn't know it. All of us are teachers in the state of Georgia. Georgia goes back to school in July, or early August, late July.
Right.
All of us will be returning to work on July the 20th, correct, Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
So when you look at around the country, we know we start school a month before everybody else. We know this. So it would be a great book for parents of little ones who are starting pre-K and kindergarten and who are a little apprehensive. Yeah. Even if the parent, I've read the book, so I got to sneak on it. Even for parents, I know I have one child, and I know that day I took him to school, and I had taught for 10 years before I took him to his first day. It was a rough day for me because and mine was pre-K. That was the hard day. That was his first day. Dropping him off to pre-K. It was hard. I was excited and nervous. He was excited and nervous. That was a long time ago. But I think it is a good read for any parent, grandparent, auntie, uncle, godmother, godfather who wants to help that little person feel comfortable and safe and know what the first day will be like.
They would absolutely love it. And I'm just not saying it because I wrote it. I call it the new classic. It would be a book that will carry on for years. People will love it, pass it on generation to generation. Matter of fact, in this book we have a foreword. In the foreword, I gave a chronological order of how when my mother went to school, how my grandmother couldn't take her because she had to work. So one of her older sisters had to take her and register her for school and take her to the first day of school. Then the next step was me, how my mom took me, and she said I was all excited, ready to go. And then how I was teaching kindergarten. It was the first time I ever missed the first day. I was there for the first day, but I missed the greeting of a class because my little girl was going to kindergarten, and I had to go take her to school. And I think we both cried that day. And I have 3 sons, and I know they're like, hey, Dad, what happened to us? Well, 2 other sons, they went to the school that their mother went to, so it was kind of easy for them. She was there with them on the first day of school.
Well, I think it is a great book. And I think we're about finished for the day, Dr. Shipman.
That sounds good. It was a great show. Now, Miss Bennett, give us some closing words. What would you like to say to the world before you leave?
Get out there, get moving. Don't make this summer boring with math. Make it fun. Let them do everything that they're doing and you're doing. Just make it fun, and learning will take its part.
Learning is fun. All right, Dr. Shipman. Remind everybody where they can find you on the internet.
Again, you can contact me on Facebook.
What's your tag?
Not my tag, but my name is Terrence Shipman on Facebook. And then we have like several groups. One of our groups is called, of course, Team Shipman. And then the other page that I manage is The Real PTA, which is doing fabulous. You will love that page. It's not all about education. There's some fun stuff.
It's the real things parents and teachers talk about.
Right. And you can also look on, I have an Instagram page, which is, of course, Terrence Shipman. Twitter page, again, which is Terrence Shipman. And, of course, the thing that I'm really proud of, the website. And the website, we have a great blog. I really want you to, if you have time, take a look at it. We have a great blog page. A lot of great educators giving their opinions on how they feel about today in education. And in closing, I want to say, as I always say each week, I am special, I am smart, I am somebody. Don't forget that. And please, 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 like, share, and comment and subscribe to this podcast. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Mr. Shipman's kindergarten class. Ooh, I said that. And in closing, I want to say thank you. As I always say, I am special, I am smart, I am somebody. And please make sure you subscribe to this podcast, share it, like it. Matter of fact, we're in a couple of countries. I saw somebody from the UK, France, Spain, India. Tell them about it. And of course, I'm sure our friend in Serbia is listening to it also.
Hey, Milan.
Again, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Mr. Shipman's class.
Mr. Shipman's class, Mr. Shipman's class. Mr. Shipman's class, Mr. Shipman's class. Mr. Shipman's class, Mr. Shipman's